It's been hushed up very nicely, hasn't it? He was murdered, wasn't he? There are certain things that are best left unsaid. The tragedy had touched the life of the wealthy Richard Abernethy. His sudden death seemed pretty unremarkable for a man of his age. So why would his sister wait until his funeral to say he had been murdered? When she is savagely killed with a hatchet the next day, her extraordinary remark suddenly takes on a chilling significance. In desperation, the family solicitor turns to Hercule Poirot to unravel the mystery. Limstock is a town with more than its share of shameful secrets. A town where even a sudden outbreak of anonymous hate mail causes only a minor stir. But all that changes when one of the recipients, Mrs. Symington, commits suicide. Her final note says, "I can't go on." But Miss Marple questions the coroner's verdict of suicide. Soon, nobody is sure of anyone, as secrets stop being shameful and start becoming deadly. I can only say that if there was to be a real murder tomorrow instead of a fake one, I shouldn't be surprised. Every village feast includes a treasure hunt, but a murder hunt devised by a well known crime novelist and judged by a famous detective. Now that would surely be a hit with the crowds. That was how it appeared to the public. But what dark motives lay behind it? And what was in the summons that brought Hercule Poirot at the moment's notice from London to Devon, if this was just a harmless game? Beautiful young Eleanor Castle stood serenely in the dock, accused of the murder of Mary Gerard, her rival in law. The evidence was damning. Only Eleanor had the motive, the opportunity, and the means to administer the fatal poison. Yet inside the hostile courtroom, only one man still presumed Eleanor was innocent until proven guilty. Hercule Poirot was all that stood between Eleanor and the gallows. If you care for money too much, it is only the money you see. Everything else is in shadow. Poirot had been present when Jane bragged of her plan to get rid of her estranged husband. Now the monstrous man is dead, and yet the great Belgian detective can't help feeling that he's been taken for a ride. After all, how could Jane have stabbed Lord Edgar to death in his library at exactly the same time when she was seen dining with her friends? And what could be her motive? Six people sit down to meal at a table laid for seven. In front of the empty table is a sprig of rosemary, rosemary for remembrance. A strange sentiment considering no one is likely to forget the night, exactly a year ago, that Rosemary Barton died at the very same table, her beautiful face unrecognizable, convulsed with pain and horror. But then Rosemary had always been memorable. She had the ability to arouse strong passions in most people she met. In one case, strong enough to kill. Let us see, Mr. Clever Pyro, just how clever you can be. There's a serial killer on the loose, working his way through the alphabet, and the whole country is in a state of panic. A is for Mrs. Archer in Andover, B is for Betty Bernard in Bexhill, C is for Sir Carmichael Clark in Churchton. With each murder, the killer is getting more confident, but leaving a trail of deliberate clues to taunt the proud Hercule Poirot must just prove to be the first and fatal mistake. 10. 10 strangers are lured to an isolated island mansion of the Devon coast by a mysterious UN Owen. 9. At the dinner, a recorded message accuses each of them in turn of having a guilty secret, and by the end of the night, one of the guests is dead. 8. Startled by a violent storm and haunted by an ancient nursery rhyme, counting down one by one, as one by one they begin to die. 7. Which amongst them is the killer, and will any one of them survive? On holiday on the Cornish Drive area, Hercule Poirot is alarmed to hear Pretty Nick Buckley describe her recent accidental brushes with death. First, on a treacherous Cornish hillside, the brakes of her car failed. Then, on a coastal path, a falling boulder missed her by inches. Later, an oil painting fell and almost crushed her in bed. So when Pyro finds a bullet hole in Nick's sun hat, he decides that this girl needs his help. Can he find the would-be killer before he hits his target? Roger Ackroyd was a man who knew too much. He knew the woman he loved had poisoned her first husband. He knew someone was blackmailing her, and now he knew she had taken her own life with a drug overdose. Soon the Evening Post would let him know who the mystery blackmailer was, but Ackroyd was dead before he would finish reading it, strapped to the neck where he sat in his study.